because this might be the inner chronicle of what we are, and we have to articulate ourselves, otherwise we would be cows in a field.
Welcome to Cows in the Field. This is a show in which we discuss philosophical themes in popular films. My name is Justin.
I'm Laura.
And today we're talking about the singular man of our time, Marty Supreme.
I have a purpose.
Okay.
Let me ask you something. Do you make money at this little table tennis thing?
Not yet.
Do you have a job?
No.
Backhand! Backhand! Forehand!
How do you live?
Well, I live with the confidence if I believe in myself, the money will follow.
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
That
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
Maybe it should.
There's no turning back.
Everything in my life's falling apart, but I'm gonna figure it out.
If you need any help, I could help you.
You wanna go hustling again? Put your money where your mouth is.
176, 177, 178.
The mouse is back, baby, yeah! Welcome to your life.
Marty,
I can't support your mother for the
You're not gonna have to, because I'm gonna step up.
Step up
I'm gonna
how?
step up in a way you can't even imagine.
Marty, I'm gonna make you an offer.
I gotta do it completely on my own. Every man for himself where I come from. That's just how I grew up.
hey, what are you doing?
I don't think you understand the stakes here.
Find that funny? I get nervous laughter sometimes.
My eyes broke, or is that mouse, baby?
Thank you so much.
You're my pop. We believe in you.
Hey, I'll rip that unibrow right off his forehead!
You wanna get physical? Like an ape?
Come on, he's right here!
And welcoming back to the show, we have Sean Burns. Sean is a film critic for WBUR's Arts and Culture and a contributing writer at North Shore Movies and Crooked Marquee. He's also the lead writer, contributor of Spliced Personality on Substack. So, Sean, welcome back to Cows in the Field.
Oh, thank you. Well, thanks for having me.
Real quick, let me clarify. So, Spliced Personality is what's the website for the Substack?
The Spliced Personality, Substack.com. That's just my own little side thing. I'm still working for the other places, but I also write 2 reviews a week for that, just because we needed more of my opinions out there, I felt.
Subscribe to Sean. He's a great read. So last time we had you on, we were talking Blobskers, and that was 2 years ago. So it's been a while, and it's good to have you back, Sean.
It's great to be here. I miss you guys.
I want to start with just the Safdie brothers. And, here's a very open-ended question, but a couple things that happened this year where the Safdie brothers famously split in the sense that I don't know how they're on as far as good terms or bad terms, but they stopped making movies together, at least for the short term. They each made their own movies. We had Benny Safdie make the Smashing Machine and Josh Safdie make this movie, Marty Supreme. So, Sean, question to you, like, where are you on the Safdies and where were you on the kind of Marty Supreme, Smashing Machine relationship?
Well, I think we know who's the talented one.
That's mean. That's mean.
I'm sorry. The Smashing Machine was rough. I had a hard time finishing it. That was brutal.
Wow, coming in hot with the fire for Benny Safdie. Okay, so you're Team Marty, and Laura hasn't seen the Smashing Machine.
I have not seen the Smashing Machine.
So
no,
I'm
sorry.
also Team Marty, but I think I like the Smashing Machine a lot more than you, though. I guess
I think a lot more than most. It seems like,
Yeah.
but you found it like charming.
I mean, I think it's well. Here, let me ask you this. I mean, in what ways do these two movies seem like Safdie movies or not like Safdie movies? I mean, I think in this case, this is a pretty obviously a Safdie movie, but do you feel the Smashing Machine is bad because, Benny should be playing more to his strengths, which are on display here in Marty Supreme, or do you think it's just bad for other reasons? Like, what don't you like about the Smashing Machine?
Oh, it was completely inert. There was no drive to it. It was this weird, meticulously recreated scenes from a documentary. And I still don't understand what the point of the movie was or what it was trying to say about this, other than Dwayne Johnson really wanted an Oscar. And I'm incredibly grateful that the film failed so badly financially that we didn't have to see Dwayne Johnson in the Criterion closet, because I really wouldn't have been able to handle the PR tour. Do you notice how he was wearing those stupid little glasses for this movie and talking about like, well, now I finally feel taken seriously as an actor.
Yeah. He's
like, I'm wearing glasses.
He's got the Dave Bautista glasses.
Yeah, big guy, little glasses, always a good combo.
So one of the things I liked about Smashing Machine, I think, is, I mean, we saw the same movie and we had different reactions. So it must be the case that the things that you didn't like about it, I must have just found more interesting, or I liked it. I kind of liked. So putting it in conversation with Marty Supreme, I think it's kind of helpful for articulating what I liked about it. So Marty Supreme is the story of a guy on the uprise. He's on his way up. Of course, where is he going? We're going to discuss that, but he's on his way up. And that's an exciting story. There's a lot of drive to that. There is, it's forward momentum. Smashing Machine is about a guy on his way down, and he's trying to avoid falling further. He's trying to sort of stay on the hill as he's losing ground. And what I think is kind of interesting when you put the movies next to each other is, both sports biopics, both involve a kind of tournament at the end in Japan. And the final shot of the movies would actually play kind of nicely next to each other. Both are of their protagonists. Marty Supreme ends, as we're going to discuss, with him crying, looking, at his child. And the Smashing Machine ends with the character played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Mark Kerr, in the shower laughing, so smiling and laughing. Like there's almost like a relief to him. So it's interesting that, Marty wins his tournament. Mark Kerr loses his tournament, but the winning comes with crying and the losing comes with laughter. I just think it's this really interesting juxtaposition when you put these two things next to each other. I don't know, Sean, does any of this do anything for you, or are you just
it's like a yin and a yang? So like the crying and laughing, and one of the movies is good and one of them's terrible. Like,
well, maybe Benny. I didn't see Smashing Machine. I can't weigh in on this, but I will say, Benny, keep acting too. I always enjoy when he shows up in the movies.
Wonderful actor.
And I, was not complaining when he was pushing that little lawnmower around in Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret.
Right. He
was so cute.
Like Hot Benny.
Hot Benny. I'm there for it.
I'm actually kind of excited to show you Smashing Machine at some point, Laura. Laura opted out when I watched it because she's like, I cannot deal with looking at The Rock like as he looks in that movie.
It's really strange makeup, right?
Yeah.
I don't like movies where people hit each other all the time. Like it is tough for me. So.
And watching Emily Blunt try to be that character is just hilarious. Like, I mean,
that is a difficult character in a lot of ways. I think, yeah. Anyway, but yes, this is
the most regal, like resting Brit face.
Yeah. Yeah. For like an American, like, Phoenix soccer mom type lady. So, okay, Marty Supreme now. So this movie, if you think of it in the abstract, it's got 3 parts to it. It's a 3-part story. The middle part is clearly the Safdie movie. But the first part is, Marty goes to the first tournament in the British Open in England, plays and loses to Endo. That's basically the first part of the movie. It's about half an hour, or maybe 45 minutes. The middle part of the movie, which comprises most of the movie, is Marty now trying to get the money to, 1, pay off the debt he's accrued to the Table Tennis Association because he stayed in a fancy hotel when he was in London and charged it to them. And 2, get the money so that he can fly to Japan and compete in the big championship. And then the third part of the movie is him getting to Japan and that competition in the end. So, with this structure, Sean, maybe we'll start at the beginning and maybe start with Marty himself as a character. So, what did you think of the character of Marty Supreme, and what do you think of Chalamet, who's up for an Oscar and I guess the odds-on favorite to win?
I'd never understood the Chalamet thing before. I always found I could see how hard he was trying in all these parts. I would always call him a very diligent actor. He seems like a nice, serious young man, and I never bought it. really for a second. Like, oh, you're not Bob Dylan, but you're trying really hard. A for
Yeah.
effort. Good. And this, I feel, it was interesting because I saw Josh Safdie was at the Coolidge before the movie opened. He did a screening and he talked to his old BU professor, which was a nice little Q&A. And he was saying he wrote the part for Chalamet after he met him at a screening a Good Time. So the whole role was conceived around him.
Wow.
And it's interesting that it weaponizes all the things that are annoying about Timothy Chalamet in interesting ways. Like that very try her hard, annoying theater kid energy is the character. And I think he's great. When it was over, the first thing I texted my friend was, I get the Chalamet thing now. I think he's fantastic at this. I mean, can he do something that's not written explicitly for him? I don't know, but
So you don't love him as Paul Atreides, is what I'm. Sorry.
I do like in that whenever he has to be a badass, they let him talk in the made up language.
Yeah. I mean, if he wins Best Actor, he's going to have a lot of parts written for him. So, it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, I think he's a polarizing actor. It's a strange, I feel like a lot of people are very split on him, and this movie seems to be a rallying point. I think a lot of people are coming together and saying, "Yeah, I liked Timmy in this." What did you think, Laura?
I like Timmy. Like I never had a Timmy issue. But I liked him a lot in this. I think he fits in very well into a Safdie mold.
I mean, I didn't have an issue. I was just I was a Chalamet agnostic. And
Okay,
Sure.
you were a Chalamet skeptic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't find what people find really charming about him, and I think did.
Yeah, and maybe further to the negative of you, Sean, I think there are a lot of people who really hate him, like really think like they're just like, I don't even get at all his appeal. I think so. There's really opinions are quite divided as far as I can see. I don't know. Well,
that's the way whenever a young actor comes up, right? Like dudes always have we all hated Channing Tatum. He was just a pretty boy, and then you realized he was funny and cool, and like Brad Pitt was the same way in the 90s. It's like, oh, that guy sucks.
What about Marty the character? So this is another, I think I garner from the small amount of the discussion in the world about this movie that this is a controversial character in some ways. A lot of people are divided on him. Where do you stand on Marty the character? As far as, I mean, I could ask this in two ways. One is, how do you think the character is as written? Like, is he interesting? And then also, like, is he a good guy? Is he a good protagonist? Is he a bad guy? Like, what do you think?
I don't care if he's a good or bad guy. He's really fun to watch. Like, he has no real redeeming qualities until the end, which I don't buy, but we'll get to that later. But
yeah.
But just the constant scamming and hustle and just the like myopic self-interest is so funny to me. Just this complete confidence and no concern for anybody else. It's really amusing to watch. And I'm kind of a sociopath when I watch movies. I don't care as long as it's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know a lot of times people they feel like it has to be a reflection on themselves. Like if I like a person in a movie who isn't good, then I'm a bad person. And it's not a values thing. It's just really fun to watch. The kid's an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people have like, Marty has been divisive?
It's divisive, but it's divisive for exactly, I think, the reason Sean's articulating. Like Sean can watch the movie and be like, this is a fun character. Of course, I think he's a jerk or whatever, but I think a lot of people have a difficult time separating, like, I'm rooting for this guy and he's a bad guy. How do I reconcile that in my head?
Oh.
The Boston Globe review, which was atrociously written anyways. It was all about, why should we care about this guy? Why should we root for him? I don't know, because he's funny.
So
he's funny, or like because he's compelling. I think, I didn't realize that like that was like part of the conversation. The one thing I did feel about Marty Supreme was that like I was like, I have seen this mold now twice at least, like with like I feel like with Good Time and with Uncut Gems, and I feel like this is like the best version of it so far. But when somebody told me like they're like, oh man, this movie though I liked it, but it's really stressful. It's really 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 stressful. And when I watched it, I was like, I was ready for a Safdie movie. So I was like, this movie didn't stress me out. Exactly. Yeah. Uncut, I think, like gave me like maybe some anxiety. This one, I was just like ready for it, I think, and found it kind of just really fun and pleasant, like a delightful ride.
Yeah, there's a hard guy posturing in their other movies that I don't really buy. And this doesn't have that. And that's why I think it's the most enjoyable Safdie movie. Because, I mean, it just wants to entertain. It's not trying to... No one's getting shot at the end,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that the reactions to the characters have been, most people I think this is a bad guy, and for all the reasons that we can get into, but nonetheless they struggle with reconciling that with like enjoying watching him. So they're like, oh, what do I do?
Or like the feeling of wanting him to win.
Yeah, or like cheering for him or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think the interesting thing for me is how the film positions Marty in relation, basically the same way we're feeling about Marty, everyone else in the movie is feeling about Marty. All the characters feel about him. So they're like attracted to him. He's surrounded by people who are drawn to him, that want to be near him. That like Rachel, his sort of whatever, his baby mama, she is incredibly loyal to him, despite all the bad things he does to her. I mean, Kay, the Gwyneth Paltrow character, has no reason to continue to let this guy be a part of her life, and yet she does, over and over again. And I think there is something interesting about that. Like, this is a guy who sucks. He's a not cool dude. He will screw you over, and yet you want him around, And so I think we all know that kind of person. They're like people like that just like bring energy to the party, and you sort of want them there, even though they're going to break something and it's going to be a hassle. But the other thing that's, I think, kind of interesting in contrasting Marty to the other characters in the film is, besides Rockwell, he's the only character in the film that has really any ambition. All the other characters seem largely inert. They just kind of they're stuck in place. They're happy to be there. They're fine to just, live. Marty lives with his mom, an apartment above Rachel and her husband. And like, they all like live in this building together. And the shoe salesman guy, who's the uncle, is probably in the same building. And they probably lived there for generations. Like, there's no movement to get out of the situation, to want something more. So he's got this ambition, they don't. And that, I think there's something that is positive about that, right? Having ambition is a good thing. I mean, it could be a bad thing too, but I think it is a good thing. And I think that's part of what draws a lot of the characters to him, is because he has this sort of exciting, ambitious drive. Anyway, does any of this resonate with you guys? What do you think about Marty in this sense?
Yeah, I mean, it's also kind of a piss take on that as well, because it's just ping pong. It's almost like a joke on sports movies.
Sean, it's table tennis.
Yeah. No. I
How
like
dare
that.
you.
I like that. But that's continually thrown in his face, right? Like, he's cut down to size on that. He's like, well, I'm important. I got to do this thing. I'm table tennis. And they're like, what is that?
Right.
They're like, ping pong? Ping pong? Really?
People compete with this?
He's like, I'm an athlete.
Yeah, so it's, that's the way it kind of has its cake. It makes fun of the cake too, because it's following all these sports movies cliches over a really silly sport that's like silly to watch. And
I mean, I think so. There's one read is like, he wants money, right? He wants to get out of his current situation. But I think another read is like, he wants fame. He wants the kind of power that comes with that wealth. But what he gets at the end of the movie is and what seems to be driving him once he meets Endo is to beat Endo, to be the best table tennis player. And one of the things he says, it's interesting that he reveals himself in his interests most specifically to the two women in his life, Kay and Rachel. To Kay, he says that I think he's misrepresenting himself. I think he's lying here. He says,
like with me, I'm never accepting anyone's help. I gotta do it completely on my own, purely on the basis of my own talent. Otherwise, it's like, the success won't even count. But that's just me.
Yes, well, that's very easy to say.
Well, it's easy to say, but it's sure not easy to do. I mean, you know that. That's why you cashed out.
Whereas he sees Kay as somebody who's only got her success, only her more recent success on the backs of her husband, who has financed her play sort of revival career. So he looks down on her for that. But whereas he sees himself as self-made, but of course he's not, because he has the scene prior to that, he just begged her husband, Rockwell, for a trip to Japan. So this is a kind of like
and he's
myth.
planning to steal her necklace, and he's gonna like charge her room service, which he admits immediately afterwards.
Yeah,
So,
no,
like,
but I think he sees that as well. Maybe he sees this all as the
that's
same
just
way.
a means to an end.
Yeah, it's
for
just him. It's the swindle. It's the grift.
He's not buying a win, right?
Yeah.
Whereas
he's not begging for it. He's not making himself beholden to another person.
Right.
But he does kind of do this with Rockwell anyway. He allows Rockwell to spank him.
Well, that was good. Oh, Marty, give me the paddle. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to bend over that chair and drop your pants.
Okay. Are you for real?
You've been a really bad boy, and now you're going to get a spanking.
Come on. Are you serious?
You want to get to Japan, don't you?
Yeah, I want to go to Japan, but this is what you want?
That's what it's going to take. Now bend over.
But anyway, so there's that one part. So he tells, I think that's his kind of that's how he sees himself as a self-made man. But then what he says to Rachel is also interesting. And so what he says there is he says, I have a purpose.
I have a purpose. You don't. And if you think that's some sort of blessing, it's not. It puts me at a huge life disadvantage. It means I have an obligation to see a very specific thing through. And with that obligation comes sacrifice, okay? My life is the product of all the choices I've had to make. Your life is the product of, I don't even know what your life is the product of. You're just making it up as you go along. That's the kind of person you are. That's not the kind of person I am, okay? You're responsible for the shitty decisions you made. I never told you to get married, not once. You cannot pawn them off onto me.
I understand.
How much do you make a year at the pet store?
$1,200.
Okay, in case you forgot, I have a week to make $1,500, not including airfare. I need to focus right now. No distractions.
I'm really sorry.
No, it's okay. And it goes without saying, I'm in no position to settle down right now. Get that out of your mind. I will not settle down right now, okay?
This I read as he's like, well, I have a talent to do this ping pong thing, and I have an obligation to see if I can push it to the best, if I can make to try to get as good as I can at it, because I have a shot to be the best. So I've got to see it through. And I think that's how I read it. Do you guys have other reads on that bit?
No, that seems right.
No, I mean, he's a talented young man, and if talented young men want to succeed, they often act like dicks.
Yeah.
I mean, Josh Safdie's come out and pretty much said, like, I am Marty, the movie's about me.
But I think it's this interesting idea that, like, you feel burdened by your talents. It's a little bit like he sees himself as Superman, right? It's like Superman's like, I gotta do this. I have to protect people because I'm like so powerful.
I'd love to just hang out and be Clark Kent. I can't do that.
And I think,
unfortunately, I have to be the ping pong champion of the world.
Exactly.
It's hard for me.
So that's where I think, like, but then again, for what end? Is it for himself? Because it might very well be, or is it because I want to, like, I have to be known as this, right? So I kind of feel like it's an internal struggle. So he's got to overcome this internal drive, and that's why when he beats, and all this is going to hinge on how we understand what he feels when he beats Endo. When he beats Endo in the promotional tournament thing, he does not win, right? Because he doesn't even get into the tournament, but he knows in that moment that
for
he's
himself.
better than Endo.
Yeah.
And so it's like this Pyrrhic victory of like, well, I don't win the accolades and the money and the trophy, but I do win because the internal battle, because I now know I can, and maybe Endo knows. Maybe that's the two things that matter is that guy knows I'm better than him. Now that would be a positive spin on it. I think the negative spin is that even after he's sort of achieved this is not enough. He needs more. So I don't know, Sean Wake, how do you come down on whether Marty, what's kind of driving him in this way?
Well, I mean, it's that, and he proves that, he proves that he's the best. He wins. He beats Endo. He doesn't, obviously, the tournament doesn't matter by that point. I like the way it inverts the sports cliche that I kept thinking of. You've seen Tin Cup, right? That has like the best.
No, we have not seen Tin Cup, but
okay.
We will see it soon because Laura is now in love with Kevin Costner.
I'm in perimenopause, and so I now find Kevin Costner really hot.
It's a really good Costner performance too, and it's sort of.
Are you upset that I said perimenopause on a public on a podcast?
I don't know.
Calm down. I have a uterus. Anyway,
not for long. His days are numbered.
Okay, just to be clear, perimenopause doesn't mean you lose an organ.
I don't know what it means. Honestly, I don't know what it means.
I'm sorry, Sean.
Apologies to all the women out there.
Okay.
I take this very seriously.
Tin Cup, as we were saying. What were you going to talk about?
I won't give it
Sean?
away since you haven't seen it, but there's
Okay.
a similar way of subvert how to have a moral victory without winning the championship.
Yeah.
It's actually a much greater victory. And I know that was an inspiration for this.
But was it? Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah. So I mean, Laura, then how do you read the ending? I mean, is he? Because I think it's really vexing, his reactions, both his immediate reaction to beating Endo, which he seems to have mixed feelings about, and then his crying at the end when he sees his child. Like, because if he has achieved what he wanted, he should be happy.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be ever happy. I don't think Marty can ever be happy. I mean, I hope I wish that for him. I wish he is well. But I think the scene where he cries at the end, though, when Josh Safdie has talked about it, and Josh Safdie has said, "I am Marty," and he's talked about the experience of like bringing uncut gems into the world and that being like his single driving focus, and like it happened and he felt numb. He didn't feel the joy and the pride and like the relief of like bringing this thing into the world and getting the respect that he had hoped for it, seeing people give it praise and stuff. He was like, he felt numb. And then he talks about how he very quickly after that, like had children and how he sort of like reframed the way he thought. So I think he's pouring that into this movie, and yet the way that he's crafted Marty and the way that we've like seen the Safdie characters in this sort of like rogues gallery of Safdie characters, like you can't quite believe that he's a changed man, at least not yet. Like I can totally believe that in that moment, it felt good for him to be like, that's my baby. I'm a father. I'm going to be a good dad. And then I also believe that tomorrow, if somebody's like, there's a tournament in Berlin, he'd be like, yeah, give me $500. I'm going, that just seems to be who this guy is. I
would have liked the movie better if it ended with a shot of him sneaking out the back door of the hospital.
That would have been, definitive. Well, I think relevant to this, it is important to note that he would not have been there had the commissioner guy allowed him to enter the tournament.
Yes.
Because he would have been in the tournament. So I don't know, I feel the ambivalence, and I think Safdie himself wants this to read it in the positive way. I think
that's the interviews that I've read seem for him to like, I feel like
that's what he was saying at the Coolidge, and I was really disappointed. I had hoped he was going for an ironic like graduate ending, like or with a now what or something.
Yeah.
And it was like And it seemed to me that was really Timmy, like he's like reprising the end of Call Me By Your Name there, where he's like, now I'm going to cry into the camera and I'm going to win the fucking Oscar this time. So I'm really good at crying into the camera.
He is good at crying.
But I didn't buy any of the last 5 minutes of this movie. I think is bad. I would if I watched it again, I would shut it off before he gets home.
I see. So you would prefer him to just end on the win in Japan, and then he kind of just him looking befuddled,
looking like what the hell now.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I just shot my chances for like winning in a
for real
and for
actually
real
being a professional tennis,
right? For getting on the
tennis
Wheaties
player.
box, for winning money, for being able to do this as a pro. Like I just completely closed that option off for me
because I felt I had to prove it right now.
Yeah. Because I was being petty and I didn't want to kiss that pig. And who does want to kiss a pig? But I think like maybe I'm sort of in between where Josh Safdie maybe wants us, like what his reading of the film is, and what you wanted from the film, Sean. Because I think I liked the last 5 minutes because it was sort of ambivalent, because it left you on this place where you're like, could this guy change? Like how much do we believe in radical change and redemption and just the presence of a new life and how much that can impact somebody? Because I think like everybody, I was thinking about the people in his life who are so desperate to be near him, and a lot of them are like pulling grifts in order to be close to him. Just the way that he's sort of like pulling grifts in order to get to what he wants to do. Rachel is pretending that her husband has been beating her so that like it will try to get his attention. And his mom is constantly like, oh, I'm in the hospital. Like she has a history of sort of like weaving stories in order to get Marty's attention. His uncle basically tries to not give him his money that he promised him in order to keep him in the store.
Everybody's pulling something.
Everybody's pulling something. And they're all kind of lying to themselves a little bit. And I think it is very like easy to convince yourself that you feel a certain way, that you are something, that you've changed. It's very hard to do it consistently and to like show up for that every day. And so I kind of I believe that Marty believes when he's looking in that last shot. I just don't know that Marty can do it.
I see. You don't trust him.
I don't trust him. I don't trust him.
Probably the right attitude.
But I think but I don't think he's like a soulless person. And so I think yeah, he's moved in that moment. And also being moved is not it does not a family man or a change person make. And I think there are plenty of people and plenty of families for whom somebody comes back and is like, I'm going to be there, I'm committed. And then they can't stick to it. I think this is a very real thing. But it doesn't mean that those people don't have the best intentions or have their heart in the right place. They just, for whatever reason, for who they are, or whatever they got going on in their lives, that's not who they're going to be. So yeah, that's where I kind of feel about Marty, where I'm like, he's not all bad, but I also don't, you got to like chain that guy to the door if you want him to like stay with you.
It really was a stroke of genius though to make Rachel as big of a grifter as he is. Because
that was my biggest shock moment. Yeah, he is horrible to her.
He's so bad to her, and somehow it's okay because she was lying to him too, so I don't have to feel guilty about this now.
But like in every twist and turn of this movie where I'm like, oh yeah, like this is the kind of movie where you could be taking a bath and then the tub falls on a mafia guy who has a stinky dog, and then like that's your new opening. I'm just like, yeah, totally here for it. Love this. Not like I'm not surprised, but I swear when she cried and the bruise came off her face, I was like, oh, I didn't see that coming. I really didn't. Yeah. It was great. I was kind of like, good for you, Rachel.
But as you point out, everyone around him is doing some version of this to try to keep him sort of hold him back. And this is why I think he thinks of himself as self-made. Another example of this is he tells this lie to the reporters. They're like, tell us about your history. And he's like, boring. I was an orphan. I just, he just tells, he feels like he owes nothing to his family, to his community, in part because they seem not broadly supportive of his actions. They really are trying to hold him back the way he thinks they are. And that would be frustrating. I mean, in his defense, I mean, they don't believe in him. I don't know.
Yeah.
What about, okay, so this movie takes place in the 50s. I mean, World War II has just ended. Marty is very clearly positioned as a child who was spared the horrors of World War II and somehow doesn't understand what has happened. And this comes up in a number of cases. He's incredibly blasé about his, when he's speaking again to the reporters, like saying, I'm going to do to Kletsky what Auschwitz couldn't, and saying, I'm going to drop another A-bomb on Endo, and that kind of stuff. Like it's like he's a child who has not reckoned with the fact that these are real people for whom they had to witness real torture, real horrors.
Well, his friend's got a cool Holocaust story to tell you.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, he's like, you're gonna love this. You're gonna everybody gather around. It's a good one.
Well, and so I think is just such a perfect example of, he sees that story as like another grift. Like this guy was grifting the Nazis. He was smuggling food into the camp. He doesn't see it as like, survival. He's just like, wasn't that cool? Like this guy like got one over on them. And he has this crazy transactional, like whoever is the smartest, most willing to do anything person will win, a mindset. And he has very little appreciation of like, in a way, like real horror and real trauma. And I think that makes the character much more of like a little punk, a little guy who you want to, which is again how a lot of people think of Chalamet, is like he's this punk upstart because he has this youthful look to him, like which makes you just want to be like push him aside, like come on, like grow up, man. You shouldn't talk that way. Like this is so disrespectful. Anyway, I think that stuff is. I mean, the sequence with the honey is incredible. And I mean, do you have any other thoughts on that sequence? Like, I feel like that was just tonally, it's a very big contrast to the rest of the film.
Well, I mean, it leads you into a queasy place because you're like, at some point, like Safdie's kind of treating it as a cool story too, the way he shoots it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, whenever movies depict the Holocaust, it's always like all right, where are we going here? And this movie is so interestingly reckless with Jewish stereotypes, as a lot of their films are.
Yes.
And I mean, there's Marty makes the character, another reason the character makes people uncomfortable, because we're sort of not supposed to have depictions like that of Jewish characters in movies. It's and so it's playing with you, not entirely responsibly, which is what I like. I enjoy that when movies are irresponsible. And yeah, it does add to the electricity of it.
I was trying to remember. He chips a little bit off the pyramid.
That's right.
And said, "We built this."
Yeah.
He gives it to his mom, and I'm like, really interesting. It's like he claims this stuff when it's advantageous, when he wants to be like, I'm my history, my people have been oppressed, or he's flip with it. But he's a little punk.
He uses what he needs to. I think that's the thing. Is like he's and I think this is where the movie, in a way is, I mean, it's about the American dream, this self-made exceptionalist American stereotype, archetype that we, culturally hold up, and have to, I think, continually reckon with. No more so than in the last 10 years, with having to deal with the fact that Donald Trump has been our president two cycles, and that like we it's this thing we venerate, and at the same time, it's a nightmare in a way. And these guys, like There Will Be Blood. I was thinking a lot about There Will Be Blood, a similar kind of depiction of the capitalist spirit run completely amok, to where this guy has no humanity left in him, and you could see Marty as a kind of childlike version of that. Like he's so driven and willing to sort of throw people out of his life or do whatever it takes, even to people he loves and are close with. It's what would this guy be like if he had his sights set on something a little bigger than ping pong,
Yeah.
Well, also that's why scoring it with 80s music is so
I mean,
this is a character Michael J. Fox would have played in 1986,
Mm-hmm. I haven't really thought a lot about like what the perception of America would be after World War II.
Yeah.
But like, what a cocky motherfucker,
It would be.
Like we were
Exactly.
like, you're welcome. We came in, we fixed it. Wow,
Yeah.
we're gonna be really rich.
Now we're running the Nuremberg
we're running this
trials.
shit. By the way,
we're re-educating the Germans.
superpower.
effectively. Yep.
That is us.
Yep.
And nothing happened on our soil.
Yep.
We're not recovering at all. We just came out rich as hell. We're not having to rebuild. Like we lost far fewer than any of the other countries involved. And we're just like,
And we are now positioned, America is now positioned to be the dominant superpower for the next, 75 years.
And like
basically,
in
until now,
Marty being flip with this stuff, like, because it didn't really impact him. He never lived it in the same way that, like, I think, Americans, obviously, like, Americans died in World War II. We lived it too, but not in the same way that the rest of the world did.
Well, and they also use it. I mean, O'Leary has a line like, "My son died liberating you." It's like, wasn't he at Guadalcanal?
Exactly.
Right. We're like on our high horse about it.
Yeah.
But yeah. And I wonder, like, any international gathering, but like sports tournaments would have had a real strange vibe after World War II for a little bit of time.
Yeah, you talk about, that's a part
The
of
travel
the movie,
ban
is
and-
that Japan's not allowed to compete in these, or are they? Yeah, exactly.
Can't help but notice this tattoo. You were in one of the camps, weren't you?
Auschwitz-Birkenau, yeah. Why do you ask?
My son lost his life liberating you.
I'm sorry for your loss.
I thought you were liberated by the Soviets.
We were.
It wasn't the Americans, it was the
I
Soviets.
didn't mean it literally. He was serving the South Pacific.
Well, what happened to him?
What do you mean? He was killed. You find that funny?
Oh, God. Oh, I get nervous laughter sometimes. Well, if it's any consolation, I'll be dropping a third atom bomb on their heads tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm sure his mother's gonna get a lot of comfort that you're playing ping pong in his honor.
It's not that big of a deal, but I appreciate it. Tell him you used to defuse bombs for the Nazis. Tell him the story you told me about,
Listen, I've got
the
a whole
bees.
table of
No,
people
wait.
waiting for me.
You're gonna love the story. Tell him.
So the middle part of the movie, the Safdie part, the part of the movie that is the most Safdie is, I called it like the Marty shenanigan part, which is basically an hour and a bit where he's running around doing various silly things. And Sean, do you have a favorite grift / sudden turn of events?
Yeah, everything involving the necklace made me laugh so hard I was having trouble breathing. I mean, it was just one thing after another, just from stealing it. And Gwyneth Paltrow is so great in this movie because she has this whole aura of like, I can't believe I'm fucking this guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you
She's like,
see
I
why
really-
she kind of gets pulled along too. Because her life
Yeah.
is
She's
so
like, I want to
boring.
make my husband mad. I'm bored. He asked. And maybe I'm sort of like so off limits because I'm a movie star and I'm married to this scary guy that nobody's asking anymore. She's just like, fuck, I guess so.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he's so annoying. And he like,
Oh, he's mean to her
he's
too.
mean. Yeah. I also love when like she gives him the necklace, then they get caught doing like with some nookie in the park. And then she has to give the necklace to the police officer so she doesn't get arrested. And he's like, yeah, that really sucks. Can I have another one? Because you have 25 of them.
I think that's the hardest I laughed in the whole movie, that line. Like, can you just go upstairs and get me another necklace?
Can't believe this.
Do you think you could grab me another necklace?
Are you serious?
You said they mean nothing to you, and it just took you a couple minutes.
I was just gone for half an hour. I can't go up and come right back down
You
there.
said you'd do that for the police
My
officers.
mother is up there. Oh my God. My hair.
I'll wait in the hall.
No, you will not.
Wait. There. You look beautiful. Please, you have 25 of them.
Fine. Stay here.
I'll stay here.
Do you understand me?
Okay.
Do not move.
Okay.
When she then just gets distracted because she got the bad review and she's like sobbing, I half expected him to just still knock on the door and be like, hey, no, it's a bad time, but we talked about that thing earlier. Oh my God.
Laura, did you have a favorite of the sort of shenanigans sequence?
Yeah, I love Rachel.
Okay.
Love her.
I'm not surprised.
Odessa
Azion.
Yeah, I love like when she's on. I love that they like the new thing, and it's so like it makes no sense, and it's so poorly thought out. Is that we're gonna use the dog as leverage.
Yeah,
we're gonna ask for a reward. I stole the dog.
She is desperate at that point.
Yeah,
because she has gone home to her beaten husband and told him that the guy who beat him up also is the one whose child she's bearing. Right.
I think in the phone booth when they're she later tries it on her own.
Oh, right. You're not talking about that part. Okay.
No,
the
first
earlier part.
When they're like in a car lot and they're trying it. That's I think the first glimpse into the fact. And we saw a little bit too in the shoe shop, but you didn't quite know the characters just yet. Like she's good at lying. She's a good actress. She's gonna pull a fast one on you. And you get the like sense that like she and Marty came up together just like pulling shit on people, like running scams. Like that's kind of their bond, is that they're really good at doing this and like working off of one another. And she's trying to see how far she can push it with this person on the other end of the phone. And I was like, I was pumping my fist in the air for Rachel. I think she's a really fun character. And it's inexplicable how she wants to go. She'll go so far for him. And he treats her so badly, but she'll go the distance. She'll get shot for him. She does.
I have to say, I thought the part that really surprised me the most, that I had the biggest, I was not ready for the tub to fall through the thing. I mean, I know you were like, oh, well, okay, that makes sense.
Well, I didn't know that exact moment was going to happen. I was like, okay, we're in a hotel. There's a lot made about this stinky dog. They say don't take a bath. Like there's a lot made about the stinky dog.
Yeah,
like something weird is going to happen in this hotel. I didn't know that he was going to his bathtub.
It falls on Abel Ferrara.
Yeah, I didn't know that naked Timmy Chalamet was going to have to be pulling a tub off Abel Ferrara, but there it was.
And then the next, I mean, that's where the movie just takes so many funny turns. All of the most sort of impossible things, I think, are the Abel Ferrara stuff, where both his reaction is like, take my sick, you are the guy who crushed my arm. Take my sick dog to the, you're going to be the one to take the dog to the vet. Take some money out of this sack of bills.
Yeah.
And then
Which
later,
immediately should tell you that this is not a person to be fucking with.
well, yeah, well, fair. Fair. But then later, like when he's captured Rachel and he uses her as leverage against Marty, and he says, okay, now you're going to take me to my dog. Why would Marty know where the fucking dog is? Like, it's a crazy idea. But he's like, no, you'll figure it out. And then to trust that he's actually taking you to the dog, you know? I don't know. There's so many inexplicable things, but it is great. I love it. What did you think of Penn Jillette as Hoff, the owner of the house, who ends up, I guess, inheriting the dog?
I did not recognize him the first time I saw the movie. Then I read that Penn Jillette was in it, and I was like, where?
I know. It's crazy. The voice, though. The voice gives it
Well, when
away.
I saw
Once
it again, I was like,
him.
oh, that's him. But
Yep.
He doesn't have his ponytail. It's confusing.
It's totally, he looks completely different.
I was so
he looks
impressed with
older now,
myself
too.
for spotting David Mamet that I totally missed Penn Jillette.
There were a bunch of people that I didn't know, but apparently
I do not know what David Mamet looks like.
Yeah, I don't know what
Couldn't
he looks like.
pull him out of a lineup.
And then Fran Drescher, honestly, I didn't recognize Fran Drescher in that role.
Oh, well, you didn't watch 320 episodes of The Nanny after school like I did.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I gotta say, she kind of took me out of it just because the 1952 milieu is so convincing, and then she shows up with the plastic surgery face. And I was like, oh, we're out. There wasn't Botox back then.
Yeah. Well, but that's the other thing is the movie it is very modern. You know, Marty speaks almost in a modern vernacular, and the score is all, you know, either 80s hits or this One a Trick's Point Never, electronic music that's doing a kind of, risky business,
Marimba,
Tangerine Dream kind of thing. So I think the incongruity is sort of there, but you're right though that like visually it's very precise in terms of it. It wants to depict at least a highly stylized 1950s, and then she doesn't quite fit exactly in that.
Yeah, I mean, it's so that Jack Fisk was the production designer, and they basically built that whole tenement ghetto there. It's just it's an incredible feat of production design, I think. And they cast such faces. I mean, God, Abel Ferrara alone. Like, I mean, you watch this movie, it's in 70 millimeter. You're not supposed to see Abel Ferrara in 70 millimeter.
Yeah. The other one is Kevin O'Leary. So I was like, who is this guy? I feel like I've seen him before. And then we look him up and he's like, oh, it's a Shark Tank guy, of course.
Which I don't know. Have you ever watched an episode of Shark Tank?
I mean, I've seen Shark Tank when I go to on a hotel. I'm clicking through the channels and I see some Shark Tank.
Yeah, that's sort of I feel like I've taken it on by osmosis as well.
I mean, what do you think of him? I mean, he's not an actor.
He's tremendous in it, but I mean, like, imagine what it takes to be the biggest asshole on a show that co-stars Mark Cuban. This guy is something else.
Do you watch Shark Tank?
I watched it once, and it was too much for me. I used to work for Mark Cuban, so.
Really?
Yeah, he owned Landmark Theaters when I worked there.
Oh,
he bought it.
I didn't realize
he turned
that.
it from a cool company, and he ran it right into the ground because he's a genius.
Kevin O'Leary. I mean,
he was so good.
It was a revelation. I was like, and the other thing is, he looks like he fits in 1950s.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he really. I was like, this guy just looks like. I mean, it's also the way they did the makeup and the styling of him and everything, and the lighting. The lighting in this movie is gorgeous, but I'm just like, that dude looks like a painting of a dude from
so it's some exclusive club that
yeah, exactly, like a yacht club. He's like, that's that, there he is. But anyway, I feel like I've just like seen that kind of face a lot.
Now, what did you think of the vampire line?
Okay, I like the vampire line, but what do you think he means by it?
Just, I've been around forever and I'm gonna fuck you. I don't think he's really a vampire. He's just, that's just
okay.
It's just what guys say.
Is not Wait, I thought he meant he was really a vampire.
There's people on the internet who think he's really a vampire.
Yeah, so
Wait, really?
There is a vampire theory, but
oh my god,
so that's not what I meant by the question. But I know so one interpretation is that like, don't cross me. I've been here. I've seen your kind. You can't. You're nothing new to me. Right?
I am a Christmas adventurer.
Exactly. Another read on it is, so that's a kind of intimidation reading. It's like, no, like,
Hail
fuck
Santa.
you.
Sorry.
Get out.
I had
Get
to
out
say
of here.
Hail Santa.
The other read is, and I have some sympathy for this one, is it's a kind of sort of game recognized game. He's like, I'm a vampire. You're also a vampire. We're the kinds of people who will not stop. We'll never be satisfied. Our lives are gonna be are shitty as a result of this. Like, our lives are just gonna be full of hassle because we're always gonna be running for the next thing. Basically, every Safdie character, and I have sympathy for you because it sucks. And but welcome to the club. Like, I want, there's a little bit of a game recognized game in there, and so I kind of feel like it's interesting to me that allegedly he improvised the line, Kevin O'Leary, but because it really does feel like a line that summarizes a lot about who that character is.
Mhm.
Anyway, I don't know. You want to give a third reading, Laura, or you're the vampire reading? You're gonna defend that.
I did not know that people thought he was a real vampire, and I love it. I love that.
There's a whole fake story going around that the movie originally ended with him biting Marty.
I'm here for it. Yeah, I did not read it as like we are the same. I read it more like the Taylor Swift father figure, where she's just like, if you're gonna, he's like, my check is bigger, my dick is bigger. Like, don't try to fuck with me. Like, I know what you are, but you're a pipsqueak compared to me, and you're not gonna last because I think I have the juice and you don't.
Yeah, that's the story I saw.
Yeah, like, sorry, dude. Like,
Sorry, bruh.
you've already lost. I have more money and more power than you will ever have, and I see your ambition, but I will squash it.
Yeah,
is how I read it.
It's also so telling that if if that is the read, then he is kind of the same as Marty, because that's his way of winning. And it's a Pyrrhic victory because he's going to lose in the public eye, in the eye of everyone else, when Marty embarrasses him and is like, I'm actually going to beat this guy. This was a sham. I'm going to prove it that it was a sham because I'm going to beat them. But again, he gets this Pyrrhic victory. He gets to go there and be like, fuck you, I've got more money than you, or something, which is the equivalent of Marty winning because it doesn't matter. So they are the same. The two douchebag, striving, but also very cool guys.
You can save your breath. I know I'm not getting paid.
Win or lose, you get nothing. And by the way, I wonder how you're going to get home because you're not getting on my plane.
It doesn't matter, okay? Unless you're planning on shutting down the event, we got nothing to discuss.
You think it's that simple?
Yeah, I do.
Let me explain to you. I was born in 1601. I'm a vampire. I've been around forever. I've met many Marty Mousers over the centuries. Some of them crossed me, some weren't straight, they weren't honest, and those are the ones that are still here. You go out and win that game, you're gonna be here forever too. You'll never be happy. You will never be happy.
All right. Okay, Mr. Rockwell.
Did you like the score, Sean?
Yeah, it had that great 80s sports movie feel, and like I said, like the old like Michael J. Fox movies, like The Secret of My Success or something. I kept thinking that, where he's just a complete sociopath climbing up the corporate ladder, and we're all like, isn't he wonderful?
I think, I really enjoyed the score. And I think, I'm excited to see what the Safdies do next. Hopefully they do more with One of Trick's Point Never, or whatever his name is, Daniel Lopatin. But I thought it was, a large part of my enjoyment of the movie was just sort of bopping along to the score and the visuals too. So Sean, the Oscars are coming up, and not that this is you don't have to put any big claims about who's going to win here, but did you have a good time at the movies in 2025? And where would Marty Supreme kind of rank for you on the movies that you saw that came out in the year 2025?
Yeah, this didn't make my list or anything, but it was so enjoyable. I mean, I watched it with the family on Christmas too, for a second time. I knew there was the one like, oh, everyone will like this. Because again, there's that lightness that isn't in their other movies. I feel like this is much more entertaining than Uncut Gems, or especially Good Time, or heaven knows what.
Yeah. I really enjoyed Good Time, but then when I rewatched it, I was like, how did I did I just misremember completely that this guy is really horrible, like really, really horrible? And I just was like, you go, like, you know, you get out of this with your whatever acid bottle of soda. Like, I don't know how I like blanked the fact that he's like truly a reprehensible human being in that movie, but I think that's the magic of a Safdie film.
It is the magic of Safdie and Chalamet to some extent. You know? These are guys that are charismatic but kind of dicks.
I also saw this movie about 20 minutes after I saw Jay Kelly, which...
Okay, so feel free to dump all over Jay Kelly if you want.
So have you seen Jay Kelly?
Yeah, we saw Jay Kelly.
It's like one of the worst movies in history.
I was so irritated by Jay Kelly because I'm a big fan of early Baumbach, and so I kind of went in, not that I had high expectations, but I expected more than this, and I was really disappointed.
I know it used to be like Squid and the Whale was one of your litmus tests for whether or not you could be friends with somebody.
No, it's like I viscerally despise Clooney now. Like I saw like there was this stupid Grubhub commercial was on the other night.
Right.
I was watching TV
Right.
and I was like, oh, fuck that guy, Jay Kelly.
Ugh.
What is he doing in a Grubhub commercial?
Yeah, because apparently he doesn't have enough money. He's sitting around the fucking villa in Lake Como. Like, I should do Grubhub ads.
Wait, hold on. It gets worse. So is that the one that Yorgos Lanthimos directed? Because like Yorgos directed 2 Super Bowl ads this year, and like it was like one of, I think it might have been the Grubhub one, which is like.
Do you remember what happens in
like lots of other people need work, team.
No, I mean, there's nothing like the Super Bowl that turned me into Ethan Hawke from Reality Bites. I just get so mad at these people.
Okay, so Jay Kelly not on your top 10.
I was really like 20 minutes after Jay Kelly, I walked into Marty Supreme, so I was like, oh, thank God, a real movie.
Yeah.
Give us your top 5 in. Do you have it ranked? Do you have a ranked list?
I never remember it, but number 1 was Ephus. Did you guys see Ephus?
Ephus. No, we have not seen Ephus. I do want to see it before the Bobskers, but that's the one about the like baseball, the sort of club team baseball team.
Yeah, it's their last game before their park gets bulldozed.
Is it set
to build a school, which is really funny because it's not even like a corporate thing that's tearing down the park. It's like, no, there's like going to be a nice school there.
Ephus. All right. Yeah, we'll definitely have to check out Ephus.
Yeah. If you really enjoy like emotionally constipated New Englanders just cursing at each other because they can't express any other emotions, like that's your movie.
Obviously.
These are my people.
Yeah.
I felt it deeply.
Awesome. All right. We're definitely got to check that out. And then after we check it out, we got to head to splicedpersonality.substack.com and read your review, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
And Sean, where else can people find you online if they want to hear your angry thoughts directed at Jay Kelly or I guess Benny Safdie?
Yeah, I'm at WBUR's Arts and Culture, and I write about older films for Crooked Marquee. I keep everything at splicedpersonality.com. That's just the clearinghouse for all the links. I put those up. I have like 4 or 5 a week go up there. You can find everything. And then
also, what about your socials? Are Spliced Personality at Twitter?
I think I'm still at Sean M. Burns on Twitter. But
Sean M. Burns, okay. And Blue Sky, same?
I think it's Spliced Personality on Blue Sky.
I'm
not on Blue Sky that much because I'm afraid to make a joke on Blue Sky because they're really serious there.
Yes, it's very serious. But are you still active on Twitter? I feel like I can't go on Twitter anymore because as soon as I pull it up, I'm worried I'm going to get like a virus being on Twitter these days. It's just bad.
Yeah, there's certain people like I only know from Twitter, and that's the only way I can keep in touch with them. It's sort of like I justify it as like the same reason my mom still goes to church every Sunday. Like we know the organization is run by awful pedophiles, but it's the only place she can see all her friends.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yes, got it. Yeah. Fair, totally fair. That's a great way to put it. Now I'm going to get back on Twitter. Thank you so much yeah, Sean, you look what you're doing to me. Thank you so much for being here, Sean. This was super fun, and go Marty Supreme at the Oscars. Like, who do you want to win Best Actor? I mean, this feels like Leo and Chalamet. I mean,
yeah, I want Leo to win, but if it feels like it's Timmy's year,
Yeah. Yeah, I do kind of.
You want Leo to win because you like Leo over Timothy Chalamet as an actor generally, or because of that you loved him as Bob?
All of the above.
All of the above.
Yeah, I adore
enough.
DiCaprio. I think he's phenomenal, but especially when he's playing a dumbass.
He's really good at playing
He's
a
the
dumbass.
best dumbass.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's
Yeah.
really, and I think it's interesting, like what Leo's doing. He's almost like the anti-Cruz in this respect, is that he's leaning so hard into the middle age thing, which is funny because I'm about 6 months younger than him. So it's funny watching him deal with all these like midlife crisis things as Rick Dalton and as Bob, and these like fears of obsolescence. And it's a fascinating journey for an actor to take and
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
to bring us along for that ride.
I love that. Yes.
I know,
And
it almost feels like he's more
humanizes him.
comfortable.
Yeah, nobody humanizes him.
Yeah.
Whereas Tom Cruise is like this sort of strange, I don't know, robot that we
He's still
sort of,
hanging on to planes.
Yeah,
God bless
gotta
him.
hang on to planes. And
yeah.
whereas Leo, like his personal life seems to be, people are just like, I guess you're dating only 21-year-olds and you just like hang out on yachts and like wear baseball caps all the time. And like, this is weird. But we love that your screen persona is a schlubby dad.
Yeah. Yeah. He feels more comfortable in those roles almost. I feel like for a while when he was pretty, like he had to be like these, they wanted to put him in the leading man roles. And
when he was pretty.
He's, well, you know what I mean.
Well, it's what happens
when
to
he
all
was
these guys.
Tiger Beat young, like
he has to prove what a serious actor he is and like do The Revenant, which is like the worst thing he's ever done, to just show how hard he can act. And then when he just gets to be like a funny guy, like he's going to be a great fat guy.
Yeah. And when he gets,
lets
when he
himself
gets like
go,
that,
it's going to be like
when he gets in the
Baldwin.
Russell Crowe period where he's just like,
yeah,
can this character be chubby? Yeah. Like,
it's like when Ray Fiennes lost his hair and became the funniest actor ever. Like
he lost his hair for the role of Voldemort. That was a choice that he made. He also lost his nose. He also lost his nose. Yeah. By the way, Yorgos Lanthimos directed the Grubhub commercial as well as a Squarespace commercial for this Super Bowl.
After this, I got to watch these. Folks can find us at CowsPod on Blue Sky and Twitter. We are at CowsPod. We're also at cowspod.com on the web. In 2 weeks, we're doing the Blobskers, so that'll be I think the 2 days before the Oscars that's coming out. So we'll be giving out the Blobskers. Sean knows the drill. We got to give out awards for various. Each movie gets only one award, so you got to be very choosy with how you give out the awards. I think it'll be a fun year. We're trying desperately to see as many 2025 movies as we can before then, so that we can make an informed decision about our favorite movies of the year. But that's coming up next.
I'm not gonna do auction anymore 2025 movies. I'm just gonna give everything to Nyad.
That's not again. That's the rules. That's broken. That's breaking all the rules of the shows. I don't know what kind of
rules.
Yeah, Laura hates the rules. Sean, thanks again, and we'll see everyone in 2 weeks. Bye.